But let's get to some questions, Todd. Let me go through here and read some of these to you. Okay, we talked about how you utilize the technology with your clients.
Yeah, Deborah Ann is there on the model again. I think I addressed that, but I think sometimes all of us get stubborn and caught in our ways of doing it the way we used to do it. And I always say this as a coach: if you keep doing what you always done, you're going to keep getting what you always got. And I think for trainers, coaches who are on the line, you obviously get it, but I think it's constantly education. Education is important for all of us to continue to evolve. And that's one thing that B3 Sciences has done. Mike, you do a free weekly workout.
Yeah.
Every week. Like, that's a commitment to education, to teach people and to connect this community. Because the other aspect that I'm really excited about is how over the next year, how do we grow our community? I want to hang out with fire breathing dragons who are fired up. And I got the mastermind group, which is all trainers and coaches and fit pros, but we got a lot of people that want to be part of a community that is that. And I see that's where this is going. I hope that we can do a few workouts here in 2023 together. And you're doing a great job with that. So Deborah Ann, thank you for sharing that. It's constant education. Patrick, thanks for listening to the audio book of Get Your Mind Right. Yes, I was the one who recorded it because I hate when you listen to an audiobook, it's not the actual author. And how is another author going to replicate like my stories with the same emotion? So thank you. That was me.
We got a question about hypertension. Studies show that this is actually hypotensive. So I want to encourage anybody that's concerned about heart, blood sugar, okay, atherosclerosis, immune system, brain, bone density, thyroid, vein. All these studies are posted on the website. Just go to the website, scroll down, you'll see all the health topics. I actually teach a 6-hour course. Many of you were on it yesterday. I'm one of the few people in the world. B3 Sciences actually certifies coaches in BFR. We now are pushing 260 certified BFR coaches across the country. This is how we're going to, dominate the industry, but more important, care, love, share, serve, and help the most people. So great questions on the health side. Let's ask Todd some questions.
Type in a chat because what's up, Kerry Menser? I want to make sure that John from Sacramento asked a great question of how do I use it. I think that's important because people always ask me, well, how do you use it? Use it every time? I don't use it every time. I told you that I'm traveling a lot right now. I'm speaking quite a bit. So I am traveling with my bag because it's easy. And I don't want to be traveling with heavy equipment like even my TRX, I used to do that, but it takes up space. So I've been using a lot of the BFRs when I'm traveling. I have my travel routine. I have my in-home routine. Here, I do it 3 to 4 days a week. And I'll have 2 days where I'm using BFR primarily, like most of the workout. And then there's 2 days where I'm actually I'll do my walk or cardio, and then I'll do some heavy weight. And then when I say heavy weight, I won't have the BFR bands on. And the last 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to just crush and drop everything out of it that I can on there. So 3 to 4 times a week, I'm using the BFR bands. And that's what I'm employing with my clients as well. But since John from Sacramento, you asked how I'm using it, that's how I'm personally using it now. That's how I used it when I was in acute pain, so to speak, and it's how I'm using it now, and I'm feeling great. Got a great BFR workout in this morning. I put it on my Instagram too, in my story. So if you're following that, I did a little extra something.
Todd, how about when they travel? You can't take the gym with you, right? You can't take your garage. You can't take Fitness Quest 10 with you. What about when you travel?
It's actually kind of fun because I put the bands in y'all have the B3 bag. By the way, I love this bag. It's simple because again, it's light. I actually got stopped last month at going through the checkpoint. The guy's like, he's like, what's this? What is this? This is the guy, the security. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's a secret. I can't tell you. If I tell you all my secrets, you'd be as smart, as strong as me. Right. So, it was actually good because I don't check him in. I actually carry him on, and it was good. It's easy. It's simple. And I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was getting my workout in a hotel gym that wasn't too good, and I got a great workout in. So I love using them at home. If I'm on the road or even at the gym, you got a good gym that you go to, you can always put the BFRs on the last 10 to 20 minutes.
You got a question from Janine. She's a gym owner. How do you handle the pushback, Todd, to people that want to work out the traditional way? What do you say to them? How do you get them into the bands and get them thinking different?
Listen, I'm a traditional strength coach. Power clean, squats, bench. I love traditional lifting. I do. Still use some of it with my clients. You got to give them a little bit of what they want, and a little bit of what they need. You got to give them a little bit of what they want, a little bit they need, right? So if you're a gym owner or you train clients, you got to give them some of what they want, and you got to educate them why this is also, maybe you don't do 5 sets of 5, or some of the crazy stuff that you used to do when you were 20, and you're doing 2 to 3 sets of 5 heavy, and you're doing that for 20, 30 minutes. But then, hey, the last 15 minutes today, I want to do BFR. And if we really crush it, at the end, I'm going to give you a manual stretch. But you got to earn that stretch. Got to do BFR. We're going to do heavy, BFR, and manual stretch. Oh, okay. So then they're like, dang, I feel really good. I like the way that felt. Because it's not easy to replicate the metabolic demands that you may get with lifting the way you used to lift. Because I can't push to the level of sprinting like I used to sprint, let alone run, so I can get those same physiological demands where lactate, let me talk a little dirty here, get the lactate, going a little bit, the lactate threshold hits in, lactic acid builds up. Sometimes it's hard for me in my traditional lifting to get lactic acid to actually build up because I can't lift the way I want to. So now with the BFR, I can do that because I'll go light and I'll just bang it out with very little rest, get complete fatigue, lactate threshold pops in. Next thing you know, there's going to be a hormonal response. That's why we're all doing this, so that we can increase and improve our testosterone growth hormone, IGF-1, all the things that we're using BFR for.
Yeah. We got a question about Brady. Did Brady like him? Did he think it helped him? How did he feel using them? Coming from Matthew.
Matthew, you better believe it. So my son, I have 3 kids. My oldest just got back from college an hour ago. Going to have dinner after this call. My middle son, Brady, blew out his shoulder, 7 dislocations. Last year, we won a state championship in football. I was coaching, and Brady jacked his shoulder up really bad, needed surgery this past May, so that he missed his senior year of football this year, but he's playing lacrosse starting up in about a month or 2 here. A big part of his overall rehab was using the BFRs. So I had him in the BFR bands. Any doctors on the call? Any MDs here? I had him in the BFR bands, like probably before he should have, just when he started getting out of the band and the sling, getting the BFR bands and just moving, just starting to move and try to get some movement going and try to get a little bit of that physiological response happening, eliciting that. That was in May. Let me tell you what, I told him the other day, he's starting to look like a house again. He's feeling good. He's 17 years old, feeling like he's, he dominates the world. He's a great kid. So Matthew, thank you for asking. BFR has been a big part of Brady's response. It'd be no different. Brady at 17, high school athlete who's been injured. Luke hurt his knee. Davidson, they had him BFRing the last few weeks in most of November. And then and now it was a pro athlete. I've got my pitchers. I got a lot of throwers. I had them Monday in the BFRs at the final 20-minute burn of the workout, and then some grand finale.
Yep. A couple questions I'll answer. Carl, when you go to order the bands, go to the website of the person who referred you, or go to b3sciences.com. We'll make sure the person who referred you gets credit. If you go to the shopping cart, or you want to join as a distributor, which we hope some of you do, there's a size chart right there in the process. If for some reason you can't find that, just email us. You can just email us. I'm going to put the email in here for everyone right now. If anybody has any questions, support at b3sciences.com. Here comes the email. Next question. I don't have access to a gym. How do I try the bands? Gretchen, guess what? When you order our bands, not only are you going to get the bands, you're going to get a set of free exercise tubing so you can work out anywhere. But most important, Gretchen, within 24 hours, everybody that orders bands, you're going to get an email from a coach. with easy to follow videos. Here's how you use them. Here's the, precautions and safety. Here's 10 of our most popular workouts, Gretchen. Every one of these workouts we send you, the majority of them, you're going to be able to do with body weight. You're going to be able to use the exercise tubing we send you. And if you never step foot in the gym, we've got a lot of people like that. You're going to be able to do all kinds of wonderful things. You can go for a walk. You can go up and down the steps. If you got a pool, they're waterproof. You can get in the hot tub, right? You can go to the mall and walk. You can go to the grocery store, push the cart around, do some squats and lunges, and get an awesome workout. So great question, Gretchen. Let me see what else we got coming in here.
Esther, what's up, Esther, over in Utah, baby?
We got Will Vachman-Tenner. We might have some people on from Europe saying, Todd, how does this affect women in their 50s dealing with different hormonal issues than men? I know I could answer that, but I want to hear it from you. Todd, you know how women are going to benefit if they get high intensity exercise, but here's a big one, everyone. Women who overtrain tend to fall off the cliff right into cortisol. This is such a game changer because you can get all the good stuff, the anabolic thyroid stimulating hormone, growth hormone, IGF-1, with not crashing into the cortisol from overtraining. But Todd, what's your thoughts on how this can help women 40s, 50s, 60s?
Well, great question, Will. Will's in Europe, by the way?
I think so. That Vachman-Tenner name, I don't think he's from Texas.
Can we have a B3 science symposium in Europe? I'm gonna call it now. Let's go over to Europe. Well, it's one of the reasons why Melanie is, and when I say Melanie uses about the BFRs as much as I do, and she's early 50s as well. Here's the bottom line. Don't all of us want to feel better when we work out, and we want to get the same results, but the thing that I still cannot debunk after 25 years. Now I'm preaching to the choir here, so ladies, deal with me here. But the question I still get, I can't believe people ask, but if I lift heavy, aren't I going to get big and bulky? Okay, so that's a myth that still exists outside of this call. So what's important is, we always say what? No, you can lift. So it's going to increase your testosterone and growth hormone, because when you do that, it's going to improve your lean muscle tissue. By increasing your lean muscle tissue, this is going to change your body composition, because don't you want your jeans to fit better? Don't you want your waist to fit, to get leaner? Answer is yes. Well, now with the BFR, what's beautiful about it is you don't need to lift heavy. You don't need it. You can get the same results as if you were lifting heavy without lifting heavy using the BFR. Why? Because it's the hormones that are going to be elicited when you actually get that lactate threshold met. So different hormonal issues, obviously what I believe in, I'm going to go on a tangent here, but I'm not going to go, just stop me, Mike, because I'm going to go too long. But I'll use a naturopathic doctor. I get my hormones tested. I've been using a naturopathic doctor for 6 years, way before the pandemic, way before everything else. Now I feel like I go 3 to 4 times a year to get everything tested, because I want to know. I told you I'm a biohacker. I want to do everything possible. Where are my hormones at? Where am I deficient in? What can I be supplementing? How can I be exercising more? How can I improve my sleep? I've gotten stem cells. Read my Get Your Mind Right book. I've been to Europe to get stem cells. I've done it. I've tried everything. I would never tell you to do something I haven't tried. And I've tried most things that are legal, ethical, and moral. And BFR is something that I would say is a must.
It is. Yeah. So, on that question for women, here's what, because, I've got this huge base of awesome ladies in B3. Here's what they say. Number one, they feel more confident about themselves, right? Body fat goes down, muscle goes up pretty quick. They sleep better. Okay. They have more energy during the day. Okay. They don't tend to crash. They have more vitality. These are all signs of elevated growth hormone. Men, me, 59 years old, I feel like I'm 35. I mean, just imagine everyone going back 10, 15, 20 years. That's what growth hormone does. What you felt like then, that's probably what you're going to feel like. So great question. Let's go to Deborah Ann. Great story. I'm 69 in a few days, was limping last year due to hip pain and joint issues with my left hip after using the bands for 6 months. Hip pain and limp, 90% gone. Now have more muscle than I did at 30. I'm a certified band fan. Way to go, Deborah Ann. That is awesome.
Hey, Mike, if I'm you better, Deborah Ann, that is awesome. You ought to like capture that, because if there's ever an endorsement testimonial, Deborah Ann, let's not skim by this. 69 years old, folks, a year shy of 70. That by itself, man, like that's inspirational. And I mean that, Deborah Ann, that's inspirational. I think of, when you're in your 70s, like, how could I still continue to feel great in my late 60s and my 70s and into 80s? Again, I still train some folks in their 80s. Deborah Ann, that is awesome. And the fact that you feel so good and you've gotten these results and your limp is a lot better. Mike, if I'm you, I'm saying, Deborah Ann, you mind if I use that endorsement? Because listen, I don't care how old you are listening in right now. If you're 30 or you're 80, we all want that fountain of youth. We want to feel better. We want to like, hey, how can I sleep better? I need to hydrate better. How can I cut down on the garbage that I'm eating, especially now the holidays? There's not a better time. Good timing of this call, Dr. Mike. Right? What can we do? I was just sharing with the mastermind recently on my GSD planner call, like, why wait till January to feel better? Like, no, screw it. That's like the average person in the world, the mediocrity that exists, all the mediocrity is like, just say now on whatever the date is, 12/14 tomorrow, it's time. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to get my nutrition. I'm going to improve my supplementation. I'm going to get my BFRs going, and I ain't waiting. Like, why wait? Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a little fired up.
And these are common stories that we hear. John Wellman's on here tonight. He's in his 70s. You got to see how this guy's built. John Wellman gets up in the morning. He gets out his tubing, everyone, the tubing we send him, not weights, not in the gym. And he goes for about 10 to 15 minutes. And he'll tell you he feels like he's 40. He's got guns. I don't know of anything in our population who's 60, 70, and 80. Why? Because very few of them can go to the gym and lift heavy weights. I don't know of anything that could even compare to what we can do in this wonderful population by elevating nitric oxide and growth hormone by using BFR. I mean, it's a game changer, and it's going to revolutionize, how we approach health and fitness. By the way, everyone, you're hearing all this stuff. This is already old news in Japan, everyone. You go to Japan and go to a mall, they have kiosks. You walk up and pay $5 and you put bands on and walk around. You go in doctors' offices, many cardiovascular doctors in Japan, they'll put you on the treadmill in the bands for 30, 60, 90 days and probably fix you. Won't consider a prescription or a surgery until you've done some BFR. Ladies that go in Japan, many doctors, they'll do a DEXA scan. They'll have them walk for 90 days and then 180, re-DEXA scan them. Bone density goes up, and that's how they treat them. This is profound things that we have unlocked in the human body, with BFR. So that, the stories are going to keep rolling in. And, my challenge to all of you is, like Todd said, first, take care of yourself. Many of you are doing that, but man, can we change the game? Real quick about me. I mean, I was on a path with my previous company. I was set. We had built that company up in 12 countries, and I was set for life. And when I walked away from that company, I took nothing with me. So, I mean, I didn't get any of the stock because it was in my contract. I had to stick around. I mean, I left it all behind. I burned every bridge, but I just saw what this could do. And I'll tell you, the passion Todd has for helping people, I've got for B3 and helping people. And these stories, man, these stories are rocket fuel. I think these stories are nitric oxide, aren't they, Todd? Every time we hear one.
You know what? Absolutely. I love seeing your feedback, folks, your comments and questions and that. And Mike, you're right on. I almost hate, I'm getting excited. I'm a little worried that we're firing people up on the East Coast too much and they won't be able to fall asleep. I guess I'd say this to end it is, it's something that's a principle in life. Learning never stops. You want to make sure that regardless of what you do for a career, that you try to be the best that you can possibly be in the training world. I'm like, be the expert in your area. Be the expert in your area. We got it. They don't. What does that mean? Well, we've got we are studying, we're learning all the time. We got it, they don't. So be the go-to resource, regardless of, I don't care if you're an accountant, you're a lawyer, you're a financial advisor, be different than everybody else. And I love the tribe that's being created here, Dr. Mike. I think when you talk about revolutionary, I think we haven't even scratched the surface of where this is going to be, because whether this is going to be on the cover of big magazines or focused in the news, because of all what's happened in the last couple of years, the stress is killing people. The turn of what has to happen on the rebound is touch therapy, massage therapy. We haven't been able to touch for 2 years. Touch therapy is going to be huge. Getting one's physiological systems back in place is going to be massive. We now have a tool that can accelerate and expedite that in BFR. And that's why I would just say is this, in regards to what it is, I don't care if it's your kids you're dealing with or your employees or employers, it's about results, period. The reason why I've had the career in the training world, the results, because you genuinely, authentically care to help people do what they do. So again, for all you back on the East Coast, I want to say thank you for sticking around late with us tonight. I'm a resource within our B3 family here. I'll be doing more here with Dr. Mike and Team Durkin and Larry and Easton. Thank you, Brad. All y'all that are listening in right now, you need me, hit me up, because I love preaching when it comes to health, fitness, mindset, performance. And I'm really, really proud to be part of the team that y'all are on. So
thanks, Todd. It was awesome to have you on. Can't wait to have you on again. I know you're busy, but man, we've started something special here, and what a journey we're all about to go on. Look, we've got some other questions. I just put an email in the box right there. We will answer them all. We'll also help you get started. You want to know your different options for getting started. There's the email. One of us will get back to you very quickly and help you get started. And appreciate everybody being on tonight. And again, thanks, Todd, for all your wisdom and helping us get our mind right going into 2023. Appreciate you, brother.
No doubt. I'm going to go have dinner with my son. He just got on a plane, got home tonight. So I'm going to give him a big hug and break some bread with him. But I want to say thank you all. You need anything from me, hit me up. You go to my website, todddurkin.com. On that, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter. Definitely the podcast. You heard, if you haven't listened to Dr. Mike's last week and Amber Kivett, go listen to the podcast, the Todd Durkin Impact Show. So love you guys. Appreciate you. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays, everyone. Good night.
Thanks, Todd. Good night, everyone.
Thank you all. Thanks, Dr. Mike.